Steven Universe is the property of Cartoon Network, Rebecca Sugar, and its respective owners. Any and all footage or images have been used for the sole purpose of critique or parody, and as such are protected under fair use. Please support the official release. It's awesome. Hey, how are you? I'm Slice of Otaku. Today we're going to be expanding on a pretty popular theory within the Steven Universe fandom known as Deep Cut. Now, I really like this one, and it's by Tumblr user Wrecked Your Bismuth, so shout out to them, even though their account is sadly deactivated at the moment. I think it might be because they spilt too much of the beans on this one. This one is great. I think you guys are going to really like it. But anyways, we're going to be talking about Amethyst and her true potential. So at the start of the series, besides Steven's human body, Amethyst is the youngest of the crystal gems, and because of this, since emerging, she's looked to them for leadership, direction, and tutelage. Although, genetically speaking, Amethyst's primary purpose is to be a quartz soldier, and in the episode On the Run, she's revealed to be from the Prime Kindergarten of Earth. In the episode Message Received, while speaking to Yellow Diamond, Peridot states that the Earth's organic ecosystem creates unique resources, and that Homeworld shouldn't sacrifice such potential. I mean, as an audience, we've already seen what Earth-made gems are truly capable of in the form of Jasper, the perfect soldier. Sure, she's been beaten down a couple of times by now, but only by fusions, the combined power of two or more beings, and she is literally known as a legendary hero as told by Eyeball. But what about the runt of the litter, Amethyst? Well, we do know she was overcooked in a small hole and remained in the ground for an additional 500 years, resulting in her dwarf size. Because of this, she is considered defective and wrong by Homeworld standards. But if there's anything we know about Homeworld standards, is that they are very intolerant to anything that breaks the mold. Take fusion for instance, an experience with incredible power is considered repulsive. Homeworld doesn't know what they're missing, and I believe the same goes for Amethyst. Alright, here's an analogy. Mind you, it's a strange one, but I think it fits. When Homeworld set out to create soldiers in the kindergarten, they were essentially baking bread. The quartz soldiers are typical slices of bread, and when it comes to Jasper, they intended to make hard dough bread. Now, one of the slices was in the toaster for longer than expected and was burnt. I don't know about you guys, but I don't mind my bread being a little bit on the crispy side once in a while. I mean, it's interesting. Sorry if that was weird, but that's just how I see the whole situation. So what is interesting about Amethyst that sets her apart from her fellow quartz soldiers? Well, her shape-shifting capabilities are incredible, as she incorporates them into both her fighting and relaxing. Remember the episode Back to the Moon where Amethyst turns into Jasper for the first time and holds it from Earth all the way to the moon and then some? While Steven, albeit new to the whole shapeshifting thing, can't hold a mere stretched out form of himself for very long without reverting back to his most basic form, an infant. Also, the speed of her reformation after being poofed is incredible, taking her only mere seconds to reform in comparison to Pearl's 2 weeks. Dude, can you imagine if she could reduce this time even further without like wigging out her form or something like that? She would be a complete beast. Like, I don't think anyone who could like keep her down. Actually, that just gave me idea for a new analogy. Whereas Jasper is Captain America, Amethyst is Deadpool. Both powered by the same serum, one the perfect soldier, the other regenerates really quickly. Sorry, I couldn't help myself, but imagine if that's where they drew this from? That would be crazy. Another moment that showed us how interesting a gem Amethyst is the introduction of the gem weapons expert Bismuth, whom upon inspecting Amethyst's weapon is impressed and states that not every quartz can make a whip like it. But that's not the only important thing that Bismuth tells to Amethyst. She also refers to Amethyst as Deep Cut. Now the real world term according to Angara.com is as follows. A deep cut in colored stones is aimed to darken the color. However, to achieve a deep cut, one has to sacrifice weight. After we have the ideal brilliance and color, the gemstone is ready for mounting. Yo, this is the story of Amethyst's life. She's far smaller than her fellow quartz, and she is one of the more vibrant and colorful characters in the show, and I mean that personality wise. If I were to label her, I would say she's childish. Keep this in mind, it's important. The site goes on to explain the other end of the spectrum, shallow cuts. On the other hand, a shallow cut is an attempt to stain, weight, and lighten the color. Similarly, the proportion of crown and pavillon play a significant role in the gemstone sparkles. While a low cut crown lacks sparkle, a pavillon that is too shallow or too deep lacks life. Alright, so I think we can all agree that of those two options for quartz soldiers, Homeworld would prefer shallow cut gems, dull and large, meaning loyal and intimidating, aka Peridot's description of what they were meant to look like. Something else worth noting is that Jasper's gem doesn't physically have much depth to it in comparison to Amethyst's. Jasper's pretty flat on one side, whereas Amethyst has a bit more back to her. I feel like somebody's gonna sexualize this. Whatever. But when I imagine the opposite of what a soldier looks like, it's a child. Children are the future incarnate and hold the potential for change, unobtainable to those before them. That's something I'm sure the Crewniverse believes as they reinforce this concept with the existence of Steven. So, by characterizing Amethyst as childish, it opens the viewer up to the possibility of her maturing in both the sense of her personality, as we've been seeing recently, and in the sense of her powers and capabilities. So I think we can expect a lot more greatness to come from Amethyst, just like we do for Steven. The two of them are so similar as the babies of the group, and that's probably why us fans were so happy to see their fusion together, Smoky Quartz. Not to mention how fascinating it is that the two don't have to dance to synchronize, possibly indicating how close they are to begin with. I mean, Amethyst is just bursting with life. After all, she was exposed to life on Earth for an extra 500 years in her hole and the organic life forms of Earth since she's emerged. And like the rest of the Shorty squad, Steven and Peridot, she didn't witness or take part in the war for Earth. Jasper is said to have shattered 80 crystal gems the same day she herself emerged. War is meant to be her sole purpose and existence according to the diamonds, and this has been reinforced by what she had to do from day one. Amethyst wants to find comfort in Jasper's strength, but fails to understand what was sacrificed in the process. This is an actual problem Amethyst shares with Pearl, the desire for power. In the episode Cry for Help, she admits that fusing with Garnet is their one chance to feel stronger. Now, I figure we can all comprehend Pearl's desire to break beyond her predetermined nature as a non-fighter, but it's a bit different for Amethyst. She never truly got the chance to even experience the predetermined, and she never got to be a soldier. She was always free, but sometimes too much freedom results in confusion, not knowing where you belong. So she loved feeling powerful because that's what she believed she was meant to be, and at the same time, she isn't. It's when she allows herself to be tied down by self-loathing and feelings of not being good enough that she's at her lowest and weakest points. I'd say whereas Steven's powers are emotion-based, hers are more confidence-based. The bubbling of Jasper and the fusion with Steven should be the catalyst to her growth, helping her get past her own doubts. The big takeaway from all this is that unlike most of the other crystal gems who chose to be different, like Steven, Amethyst was created different. Her capabilities are not predetermined at all. In fact, she may just be an anomaly. I wouldn't be surprised if Homeworld just shattered any defective soldiers they created in the past without studying both sides of the coin. Now, for all you Jasper fans, I'm not saying that Amethyst is better than Jasper or that Jasper is better than Amethyst. In fact, I like both characters, and I think that all gems have, their own special quirks to them. Besides their powers and things like that, they're all like sentient beings. They have their own minds, But what do you guys think about all this? Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below. I really like talking about this kind of stuff. If you found anything that I said in this video interesting, be sure to share with your friends on social media, in class, whatever. Thanks for all the support and have an awesome day.